My guest tonight stars as Negan in The Walking Dead and the new film The Unholy, which is in theaters right now. Please welcome Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Sir, how are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me, Conan.
I'm thrilled to have you. I know you're in Georgia right now, and you're
Yeah.
shooting the new and final season of Walking Dead. People are losing their minds about that. But I am told that you spent a lot of the pandemic on a farm. Tell us more about that.
Well, yeah, my family has a farm in the Hudson Valley, so I've got 120 acres, and it's a working farm. It's got a lot of rescue animals, and so I was there with my wife and two kids, and 50 animals or so, and so we were good. We were pretty self-contained throughout the majority of the pandemic until I had to go to work again. Just having fun at Mischief Farm.
I'm curious about something. This sounds like, you come across to me anyway as a manly man, a man's man. You know how to do a lot
I
of this.
appreciate that.
And I mean that in the way that you thought I meant it. I picture you being able to like split wood and take care of stuff on the farm. Can you do that stuff?
I can, and I do. In fact, splitting wood is one of my favorite things to do. I'm a little bit obsessed with that. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, I can run the farm.
Yeah. Now,
for sure.
I want you to be honest with me, Jeffrey, because we've known each other a while. How do you think I'd do on the farm? Let's say I pulled up on the farm and, just showed up and said, put me to work. How do you think I'd do?
I don't think I would put you in that position. I think you've been asking me to do that. Look, I think you're very handsome and very funny, and your eyes are very beautiful, but I can't see you.
So you don't think I could work? You don't think I could work a chainsaw? You don't think I could do that stuff?
I would. That would be maybe the last thing that I would give you is a chainsaw. I can't imagine you with the chainsaw. Maybe a little teeny electric one, but not like a gas powered thing. I think that would be danger for everyone. But again, handsome, beautiful man who I think after a hard day working on the farm, I'd love to have a beer with you.
Sure. Yeah, that I could
do.
Shoot
the shit.
That I could do. I could, you know what I could do? I could be inside the farmhouse recording things on your DVR. And
you could do that?
And then getting the drinks ready for when you're done with all the manly stuff.
Maybe making me like a chicken pot pie.
I could make you a chicken yes.
Yes. No freaking doubt. I got an apron for you. Oh, man. See, now this is a good day.
Now we're doing well. I had a very nice time yesterday hanging with an old cohort of yours, Stephen Yun. He was on the program, and we were chatting, and Stephen and I have been tight over the years, and I've always thought, I found out that you were coming on the show today, and I found myself tightening up a little bit and feeling hostile towards you. And then I was like, what is that all about? And then I remembered, oh yeah, Jeffrey murdered my friend.
I did.
You murdered my friend.
But you know what? In thinking about this, and I need to talk to Stephen about it, I feel like I should get like an assist on the Academy Award nominations because had I not tapped him with that baseball bat, he'd still be on the show. And now look at him. Now he's all in the spotlight and big star and doing brilliant work.
So, it's funny because it did occur to me that you probably did him a favor. He did like 7-8 seasons on that show. You came along and you said, it's time for you to do some Oscar-nominated performances in movies. I'm tapping you out.
Go out there and get them. Yeah, you practiced. You've honed your craft here on The Walking Dead. Now go be free.
I'm in a similar vein. I never even realized this, but you had a scene, which is one of the most memorable scenes in the history of The Walking Dead, where you also kill a very beloved character. And I didn't realize this was a improvised line. There was an improvised line in this scene. You know the line I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I mean, it's kind of the same scene that that we lost the Glenn in.
Yep.
You are talking about a line improvised by the one and only Michael Cutlets.
Yes.
I believe. Yes.
Yeah, that's an infamous line. And you guys should be in the Writers Guild because, he improvised this line, and then you improvised your reaction to it. Can you take us through that? I did. Yeah, can you take us through that that moment?
Well, it's kind of, in the middle of Negan's introduction and his huge monologue where he kind of kills Abraham first.
Yep.
And so in the middle of this monologue, Abraham, Michael Cutlet says, suck my to Negan, or maybe to Jeff. Well, either it worked both ways. And then we had rehearsed it and never heard the suck my. So when the cameras were rolling, he threw that out, and I started laughing. All of which it made the scene. I started giggling, and I looked at everyone else in the lineup, and I'm like, "Did you hear what he just said? He just said suck my." And so they kept that all, and suck my has kind of become Michael's thing. And now we go to, we'll do an occasional convention, or I just get stuff sent here to sign comic books or baseball bats or whatever it may be. And sometimes they have the whole cast, so it'll go to someone's house first. And if it goes to Cutlet's house first before me, he writes always suck my Michael Cutlet. So that's become his little thing.
Can you imagine what it's like to be him? Because wherever he goes in the world, because we're talking about a world famous show, you can't go anywhere on the globe and people don't know Walking Dead. Anywhere Michael Cutlet goes, people point to him in any language and say, suck my and that's his life. Right. That's his life.
That's it forever. That'll never go away. Suck my in every language, in every country. Boom.
I have to ask you, you're
very happy with that.
Yes, sure. I'm sure he is. He nailed it with that one. Your character, Negan, spent a whole season in jail. And I remember this because in a strange way, it was almost a precursor to what the rest of us went through in quarantine for a year. Your character for a whole year was in jail, and it really felt like you were losing your mind because because Negan is such, raw energy, and you were confined, and you could see almost you as an actor using that to have fun.
Yeah, well, he needs the people. He needs an audience, and that's where he kind of got his mojo. He was always sort of putting on a show for the folks. And so a year in jail was, and literally I was in jail the entire season. You never saw me out. I had scenes with very few people. And I just kind of went nuts. Everybody may know this story. I've talked about it before, but it's when I decided, well, let's see if I can cut my hair with, basically a butter knife. And I cut my scalp up, but and these were ideas that I thought, by the way, that were really good. Yeah. In my head, I'm like, this is great. I am now fully method.
But also, it's so funny because you didn't do it as your character. I mean, you did, but you did it. Jeffrey Dean Morgan did it. And you did it with a butter knife, and you didn't consult anybody. You cut your own hair.
I just showed up at work with this, and everybody's just like, they think I'm a crazy person anyway. But that really sort of sealed the deal. What happened to your hair? Well, I decided last night would be a good time to cut it with a butter knife, and it was, I really did I had bleeding going on and stuff, and I've never done anything like that before, which sort of is a testament to. Isolation made me crazy.
Yes.
Even acting isolation, where I still had a crew around, I still got into my head and went nuts.
I've actually told people, because I've spent a year without an audience, over a year, and I'm in a room right now in an empty theater with some cardboard cutouts, and people have asked me, what is that like for you, someone who's so needy for laughs and so needs an audience? And it's occurred to me, it's reminded me of, remember when Negan was in jail for a year? That's what it's like. That's what it's like for a comedian during
That's perfect.
COVID.
It's a really good analogy, and I so get it.
Now, everyone, of course, excited / freaking out a little bit that this is the last season of The Walking Dead, which is, this show has been such a part of the culture for so long. There's talk that there's going to be a spinoff. Is that right? And You might be involved?
I mean, we'll see. It's
We'll
definitely
see.
being talked about. I think they're thinking of a couple of different ideas, but I've definitely had conversations about possibly continuing the story of Negan. We just did the Here's Negan story, which was sort of the prequel, how Negan became this guy. And I shot that with my wife, which was so cool.
Yeah, how was that?
It was awesome. It was really, we had so much fun. And I think the episode turned out really well. But we shot these 6 episodes, what we called the COVID episodes. Don't need that phone working. We shot these COVID episodes.
Maybe that was, you know what? What if they were calling you about being in the spinoff and you just hung up on them?
Yeah, well. Oh, well.
You idiot.
We have time. We've got still another.
Yeah. Okay. I'll let it go.
14 months. We're here for 14 months shooting this year of the show.
Wow. And then I'm told, is this right, that your son is going to be one of the walkers? Is that right? He's going to be a zombie in. They don't say zombie. I'm using the incorrect terminology, but he's going to be he's going to be a walker in this final season. Is that right? Maybe. That
is correct. He actually works tomorrow. We're very excited. He. One of the other things, he's playing a child walker, which if you've watched the show, I think we've had like 1 or 2 of them in 10 years. It just doesn't happen. So there's something very special about that. And now that his mom has been a walker, and now he gets to be a walker.
That's so cool. I like that you're keeping it in the family,
It's turned into a little bit of a family business, but one of the things about the COVID of it all is that this year we're only using, like, say, 20 zombies. We've hired them full time for the full year. And so they're a different zombie every episode, maybe more than one zombie. And so Gus is also tested. He's tested along with the rest of the family. And so we know that he's good to go.
That's great.
And so it just has worked out really well. So he's 11 and he gets to be on The Walking Dead in the final season. And it's super, super exciting. We're very pumped about
I love the irony that you have to have your son tested so that he can play someone who succumbed to a terrible virus.
It's so
it's weird. It's very meta.
It's very meta. It's crazy. Yeah. And we also, when we did those COVID episodes, we lived in the show's Alexandria set. We actually lived in the Rick Grimes house. So the whole kind of experience of shooting and living during this time and being associated with The Walking Dead has been very surreal in so many ways.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Let me ask you about The Unholy. Was this fun to make, The Unholy? This was made obviously
it was
You made this before the pandemic, obviously.
I made it before and during, but I think it worked, and the movie turned out really well. It's Sam Raimi produced, and it's based on a James Herbert novel, who was called basically the Stephen King of Britain. And I think the movie is really cool, and I'm thrilled I got to be a part of it. I'm really thrilled we finished the damn thing.
Yeah, we have a clip here from The Unholy. Is there anything we need to know before I roll this clip?
I'm not exactly sure what the clip is, but I was told that it's scary.
It's scary and it's dark, and you're looking under sheets. So
okay, then there you go. Sell it.
You know what? For Zoom COVID pandemic lockdown, that's not a bad setup. All right, let's take a look.
Yeah, I like it.
At this clip from The Unholy.
Madeline.
What? Fen?
I've seen that. I love is that whenever someone shows relief in a horror movie, you know the shit's about to hit the fan.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And then it's coming.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you quickly. Another friend of mine is Mr. Paul Rudd, and I'm told there's a rumor that you guys co-own and co-run a candy shop together. Is that right?
We do co-own it.
Where is this? Is this in New York, upstate New York?
Yeah, it's in Rhinebeck, New York. So we bought the candy store, 6-7 years ago. The owner, the previous owner that had it for 25 years, kind of suddenly, tragically passed away. And he was a friend of ours. And we didn't want to turn anything else. And so we bought it, and every now and again you can go in and get yourself a hot chocolate with Paul behind the counter or me behind the counter.
That's what I've heard is that that Rudd's actually there maybe too much. Rudd's hanging out at the candy shop a little too much.
Yeah, probably too much. Probably too much.
You can.
I hate to say that there could be too much Paul Rudd, but I mean, it's like, come on.
There are times when you think. Yeah, come on, man. The Ant-Man thing is going really well. You don't need to put in so many hours at the candy shop, but it's exciting.
Yeah. There's a kid somewhere that probably should be behind the counter, bringing home the bacon. He needs to go to school. You're taking his hours away.
Yeah, it's not right. It's not right. Well, let me.
God, man.
Yeah. He's he's a sick man. The Walking Dead is available now on AMC Plus, and of course, last season coming up, and The Unholy is in theaters now. And Jeffrey, I got to thank you too, because I remember when we were at Comic-Con about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, when Negan and Daryl show up, and that's about as happy as I've ever seen a Comic-Con crowd. You guys were in a sketch and you played it perfectly, and it was hilarious. And it was such a charge to share a stage with you guys and see what happens when you guys step out in front of a Comic-Con mob. I also remember you drove motorcycles over there through the crowd.
That's right.
Pretty amazing.
You were in that big theater in downtown San Diego.
Yep, Freckles Theater.
We drove motorcycles. Yeah. Oh, we had so much fun. That was a fun night.
That was a dream come true. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, you're a gentleman. I'm happy for all your success. Everyone check out The Unholy, Walking Dead, and Onward. And I'm going to come by the candy store. I'll work a shift. I promise.
Oh, please do. We'll get you, Paul, and then I'll just eat the candy.
Hey, thank you, Jeffrey. That was great. Thank you very much.
Conan. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.